We follow Impact Business Radio, Ibr92.5 FM.
Always first.
News.
Analysis.
Reports.
And commentaries on the hour.
In your business interest on IBR 92.5 FM.
You're right to know.
Time is 6 o'clock. Good evening. Here is the news at 6 on Impact Business Radio, Ibr92.5 FM. The headlines. Buhari calls for efficient tax administration, promises to improve Nigeria's tax revenue. Senate asks Nigerian Army Navy to go after terrorists to restore peace and stability in the country. House of Representatives say nowhere is safe again in Nigeria as group condemns Buhari for keeping mum over terrorist attack. Federal Consumer Protection Commission freezes over 30 bank accounts operated by illegal loan organizations. Federal Character Commission calls for even distribution of social amenities across the country to promote national unity. Now for news and details, I am Anu Akomolafe. President Muhammadu Buhari has again reiterated his commitment to an efficient tax administration to improve tax revenue in the country. Speaking in Abuja while declaring open the second National Tax Dialogue Week, Buhari expressed concern over the current tax system in the country, saying the system is characterized by fragmented administration, multiple and sometimes overlapping taxes. The president to explain that tax administrative processes and practices should be harmonized within a single system, affirmed that his administration will promote synergy in tax administration among the different tiers of government. It disclosed that the federal government has clarified the 2021 Finance Act in order to avoid taxpayers being burdened with multiple tax compliance obligations. The president also harped on the need to maximize domestic revenue within extant tax policies and laws in the face of dwindling revenues from commodities. Talking security, the senators called on the Nigerian Army and Air Force to, as a matter of urgency, go after terrorists and bombard their enclaves across the country so as to restore peace and stability in the country. The call is coming following a point of order raised at plenary on the continuous attacks on communities and public facilities in Kaduna State. Moving the motion, the lawmaker representing Kaduna Central, Ubasani, said the attacks are aimed at installing fear in the people and destroying the economies of local communities. Sani also called on the nation's security forces to re-strategize their tactics and come up with workable and effective solutions to the menace of terrorists in Kaduna State. In a related development, security experts have called on the Oyo State government to intensify efforts on the creation of state police. Speaking with IBR's Taiwo Olanriwaju, they disclosed that the current security architecture in the state is nothing compared to the last administration. The reports.
No discerning mind can logically deny the fact that the hallmark of a good government is to ensure adequate security of lives and properties of its people. Neither can anyone who has the grasp of the Nigerian Constitution successfully feign ignorance of the operational limitations of state governors as the chief security officers of their states. However, the problem of insecurity in Oyo State, like in some parts of the country, has continued to raise concerns as challenges range from kidnapping, armed robbery, and killings in most cases, thereby creating fears, panic, and tension. Although the state government is making efforts at arresting the increasing spate of insecurity in and across the state, the efforts so far are like a drop of water in an ocean as the menace continues to soar. Speaking on the development, a public affairs analyst, Martin Zomobude, said the current security architecture in Oyo State is nothing compared to the last administration. He also decried the rising cases of insecurity across the state.
The security architecture for now is not as good as it used to be under the immediate past administration, under the Ajimobi-led administration. We're having quite a number of challenges when it comes to the issue of insecurity. The reason has been deduced to so many factors that the governor, the incumbent governor, is not focusing more on security or does not have what it takes to tackle the security challenge in Oyo State, or is not going about it well. So there are different schools of thought, but presently, and in all honesty, the Oyo State security is shaky.
Omobudi helped on the need for the training and retraining of security agents, even as he called for synergy between security outfits.
Are the government, in all honesty, ready and sincere to undertake this training and retraining of the Amutajero? Because Amutajero in some cases has also proven to be effective, like arresting of hardened criminals, such as kidnappers, such as people who are into rituals and all of that. So they need to be trained. They need to work close with the police in order to achieve their objective. That's what I believe.
On his part, a security expert, Olakunle Cole, noted that the state government is not doing enough in the aspect of security. He, however, called for more improvement in the security architecture of the state.
The police, they are busy chasing other things up and down instead of them to take care of the security. It's only boys that they are very passionate in cashing, not people that are actually robbing, that you can see. You understand what I'm trying to say? So maybe the Oyo State Police Command should call the stakeholders, other security outfits together. They should have a meeting and make sure that there are security factually in some corners of this state. It is very, very important.
It is pertinent for Nigerians, particularly the residents of Oyo State, to know that security is everyone's business. Therefore, the people must report any suspicious activities in their environments to relevant security agencies. Taiwo Olariwaju, Impact Business Radio News.
Not living security, aggrieved by the twin attacks on the international airport and train in Kaduna State, members of the House of Representatives have disclosed that nowhere is safe again in Nigeria. This is as the House called on the federal government to urgently investigate the recent attacks at Kaduna International Airport and reinforce security surveillance across airports in the country. Moving the motion at plenary today, the chairman of the House Committee on Aviation said with the recurrent attacks, international flights may stop coming into the country. He also recalled that about a year ago, armed bandits attacked the staff quarters of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria and abducted about 12 people. The lawmaker decried that no one is safe to travel by air if positive steps are not taken urgently to safeguard airports from banditry. In the meantime, a social-economic group, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, has condemned the silence of President Buhari on the attacks of terrorists in Kaduna State. The group also faulted the federal government for failing to take urgent action as regards the security situation in the country. Speaking in Abuja, the president of the group, Emmanuel Onwubiko, said, "It is sad that the president has neither condemned the terrorist attack on the moving train nor that of the Abuja airport." According to him, terrorists are emboldened to continue to launch daring raids on their targets of choice because the president has become very comfortable with the inefficient security aids in the country. He therefore appealed to President Buhari to take urgent actions, even as he affirmed that the nation is no longer safe. Meanwhile, Nigerians have been charged to shun ethnic and religious divides which are threatening the peace and unity of the country. The Baale of Ikutedo, Elder Taye Ayorinde, gave the charge during his 87th birthday celebration, and he called on federal government to brainstorm with retired generals on the way out of the current security challenges facing the nation.
There is a biblical injunction that teaches us to number our days as we sojourn through life. Thus, the Baale of Ikutedu, Elder Taye Ayorinde, was on top form as he hosted friends, families, and dignitaries to his 87th birthday.
I was born blind. Now I can see. Every lesson that has come my way has turned to be a lecture for betterment. Every challenge that I met has been a situation to improve my life and improve other people's lives.
The celebrants challenged Nigerians to shun ethnic and religious divisions, stressing that Nigeria's peaceful coexistence is being threatened by religion and ethnic biases.
There is no sense of following retrogression. This country has been retrogressed due to the kind of political formation that.
Earlier in a sermon, Reverend Wole Akinpelu said the event was to appreciate God for his numerous blessings, stressing that long life is a gift from God.
If there is anything to mark birthday for, if there is anything to mark our days, the numbers of our days for, is to align our heart to wisdom, not to frivolities.
The event featured the cutting of the 87th birthday cake in grand style. An award of excellence was also presented to the celebrant in appreciation of his contributions to the uplift of the downtrodden.
To the glory of God, for continued service to this kingdom, to the kingdom of God, and to this community, our Nigerian and African community. This award is presented to you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Highlights of the event included cultural displays. Families, friends, and well-wishers took turn to describe the celebrant as a regent, a custodian of culture, and a man with the heart of gold.
It's a fantastic man. I told you it's a Christian. You know, a lot of people will say, is this Baale a Christian? But she's a plain Christian and a plain natural man.
Another statesman, one who has been around for quite a while, that every time I have the opportunity to sit with him, I always draw from his wealth of experience. At his age, he's still very cerebral. He can still remember vividly events that happened several years ago.
For Elder Taye Ayorinde, the event was another opportunity to count his blessings and give back to the community.
Following the increase in spate of banditry, the Nigeria Railway Corporation (NRC) has suspended train operations along the Abuja-Kaduna route indefinitely. In a statement today, the corporation stated that the suspension is due to unforeseen circumstances. It will be recalled that terrorists had bombed the Abuja-Kaduna rail tracks and attacked a train filled with passengers last night. The attack is coming few days after terrorists attacked the Kaduna International Airport, where an aircraft was prevented from taking off. In the meantime, the Chief of Army Staff, Farouk Yahya, has ordered troops to intensify the search for victims of the Kaduna-Abuja train attack and also hunt down the attackers. Meanwhile, stakeholders have called for a concerted effort in ending the increasing spate of bandit attack and other numerous social vices that has rendered many Nigerians greatly disillusioned. They made their positions known in a chart with Ayodele Fakeye. The report.
The alarming rate of banditry and kidnapping across the country has continued to raise concerns to many Nigerians. This is especially so as reports say some bandits commit murder while also sending letters to some communities in Zamfara state to ask for levies or face deadly attacks. Lending his voice to the development, a security expert, Dr. Shalai explained that banditry has been a recurring decimal, stressing that the attitude of Nigerian leaders to the high rate of insecurity in the country is disheartening.
I don't think it's a new thing for bandits sending letters informing the communities that they are coming. I mean, if armed robbers have been doing that, what is the difference between armed robbers and bandits is because we are not able to control armed robbery. That's why it has graduated or generated into bandits taking over. And if they can kidnap people for weeks, for months, and government couldn't do anything in terms of rescuing the people and stopping them. So naturally, the country is not, has turned to what it wants to turn into, okay? Because already we are gradually becoming stateless.
Also speaking, another security expert, Dr. Funmilayo Agbaje, said it is unfortunate that banditry has become a lucrative business in some parts of the country. She added that statistics on insecurity cases as well as banditry keep increasing on a daily basis.
When you have bandits writing letters to communities, the letter itself is much more powerful than the gun or the machete or whatever they will be bringing to attack that community, because the fear has been created. But obviously, it's fast getting, beyond what the government, can handle.
They nevertheless said with the current state of insecurity, there is an indication of the country being a failing state.
We have not failed completely, but we are failing. Nigeria is a failing state, as we have mentioned, because the level of lawlessness has gone beyond normal.
Yeah, it's not a fair state. Even though we are bombarded with all forms of vices that may lead us into becoming a failed, state, I still have the belief that Nigeria is not a failed state yet. There is still hope for Nigeria.
The experts likewise called for a concerted effort in curbing banditry and other forms of insecurity in the country.
The government don't embark on deliberate plans to mop weapons from the civil society. There's no way we can be secure in Nigeria. So let us take this as a priority.
The first thing that we can do is to engage in what we call local security. Of course, we have some, like we talk of vigilantes, Amotekuns, and all of that.
It is important to state that governments at all levels have a responsibility to adequately secure lives and property of its people. Ayodele Fakeye, Impact Business Radio News.
The Federal Character Commission has called on the federal government and state governments to ensure the even distribution of social amenities across the country, saying it will go a long way to promote national unity. The chairman of the commission made the call today during a one-day sensitization program to promote peace and national development through the equitable distribution of social economic amenities nationwide. Uluwayemisi Okweodu is coming up next with the business news.
In business, the truck drivers in the maritime sector have declared that they may be forced to increase haulage costs over the rising cost of diesel and extortion of their members by urchins and security operatives on port roads. The drivers lament that truck owners cannot make logistic projections because of the inconsistency of the pump price of diesel. They added that owners do give drivers certain amount of money to enable them buy diesel, but each time they get to the filling station, they meet fresh prices as diesel has been deregulated. They therefore call for the intervention of the government to assist them in their business. In another news, bakers under the aegis of the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria have said that the harsh business environment triggered by the rising energy costs and increasing forex rates has caused some of its members across the country to shut down their business operations. The president of the association, Emmanuel Honora, disclosed that the wheat suppliers have suggested a possible scarcity of the product within the next 2 weeks, indicating that the price of bread may go up significantly. On this development, Nigerians have reacted.
Bakers are also sharing it from the pains, and also consumers are also going to share the larger part of the pains.
It's not the bread sellers' fault. The economy is summer, so they have to meet up.
The money is too rich for this bread that is small, so it can't be okay for us to eat. The government should help us.
If there is an increase again, I will stop eating bread.
However, in an interview, some bakers give an explanation on the increasing price of bread in the market.
If wheat is not being grown here, we can as well make up for the deficit by producing other crops. At least we grow cassava in Nigeria abundantly. Why can't we mass produce cassava? Then the inclusion, because we've gone as far as 10% inclusion of cassava into the production of bread.
people are closing shops. Even the ones that are still producing, they are not making anything out of the crop. So the onus is on the federal government.
Same time we just get to where they are selling these products, we find that they have put maybe 1,500 and we cannot continue this way. The rate at which the prices of things that are going on is too high and we can't cope with it. We can't cope. We are not making profit. We are just making losses on a daily basis.
This is too high. So like flour, sugar, salt, yeast, everything is too high.
Bread is a common staple consumed in Nigeria. Hence, there is a need to make it affordable to the common man. That's all we have for you in the business segment for today. I am Oluwayemisi Okweodu.
Thank you, Oluwayemisi. Johnson Oyebanji is standing by a further editorial review.
The Punch newspaper editorial for today takes a look at terrorist attack on the Kaduna airport, saying that the country's security system is rapidly falling. It laments that security in the country has degenerated dreadfully under the watch of President Muhammadu Buhari. With emphasis on the watery issues of insecurity, the paper calls for urgent actions to be taken to avoid a total state collapse of the country's foundation. While describing Nigeria as a failing state, it questions the capacity of the security agencies, especially the police, military, and state security service, to safeguard lives and properties. The paper concludes by urging the Buhari-led administration to face the bandits heads up and replace incompetent commanders with competent ones. It also admonishes that the police officers should be deployed to field operation and that the government should urgently invoke the doctrine of necessity to facilitate state police. On its part, the Tribune newspaper editorial for today calls the attention of the relevant authorities to the intended strike by the workers of the Nigerian Correctional Service, describing the move as a threat to rehabilitation attempts and general cure to moral decadence. Though there are no unions to ensure their welfare, officials of the Nigerian Correctional Service recently threatened to go on strike due to meager salaries and poor working conditions. The paper points out that the issue of security of the Nigerian state remains a serious burden, making reference to the incidents of unresolved jailbreaks in recent times. It will be noted that, like many Nigerians, the warders are having trouble coping with the rising price of goods. In addition to that, they have to endure appalling working conditions and suffer neglect by the Nigerian state. The paper is of the opinion that, should the workers of the Nigerian Correctional Service go on strike, not only security will be affected, but every other aspect of Nigeria economy. Therefore, the paper concludes by calling on the federal government to address the concerns of the dissatisfied workers by immediately starting a construction of barracks for the use of the officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service and also increase their wage. That ends the editorial review for today. I am Johnson Oyebanji.
Thank you, Johnson Oyebanji. Now to the exciting world of sports, Isaiah Akinremi is standing by.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the sports segment. The coach of Black Stars of Ghana, Hotu Hado, said that his team would surprise Nigeria by securing the 2022 FIFA World Cup ticket in the second leg qualifiers in Abuja. He said he was optimistic that since Black Stars played well in Kumasi, they would improve on their performance to secure the ticket at the expense of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
In the game, we had more ball possession and we played well, and but surely we have to improve on not allowing chances. There was one chance, big chance against us, so we tried to stop that, definitely. And then up front also we tried to create a little bit more, but I was in all satisfied, and surely we'll try to score.
And ahead of that game, Super Eagles winger Moses Simon says he will not be caged when Nigeria face Ghana in the second leg of the Qatar 2022 World Cup playoff match in Abuja. Simon didn't have the best of performance in the first leg at the field Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi last Friday as the Black Stars midfielders and defenders swamped him anytime he had the ball. Simon, Nigeria's best player at the 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon, promised that fans would see the best of not just himself but the entire team.
We all know it can be difficult, because we knows how Ghana's play, so we decide to retreat back because a point is enough for us, because we all know when they come here, they will take it.
In other news, Russia's Dani Medvedev is 2 wins away from regaining the men's world #1 spot after reaching the Miami Open last 16. The US Open champion secured a 6-3, 6-4 win over Spain's Pedro Martinez. Poland's Iga Swiatek, who will become women's world #1 after Ashley Barty's retirement, and a 14th straight win by beating Coco Gauff. Japan's Naomi Osaka also reached the quarterfinals with victory against American Alison Riske. Last month, Medvedev ended Novak Djokovic's long run at the top of the rankings before the Serb moved back ahead. But with Djokovic absent in Miami, the 26-year-old Russian will take over again if he reaches the semi-finals. Lastly in sports, Saudi Arabia could host the Usyk-Anthony Joshua rematch in late June, according to the Ukrainian's promoter Alexander Krassyuk. Usyk is set to face Brit Joshua after beating him last year to be crowned unified heavyweight champion. While Saudi Arabia is believed to be the front-runner, Krassyuk has not ruled out the rematch taking place elsewhere. Joshua could return to Saudi Arabia, having regained his world title belt by beating Mexican Andy Ruiz Jr. in the capital Riyadh in December 2019, after being knocked out by the Mexican in a shock knockout defeat 6 months earlier. Usyk won the WBA, WBO, and IBF belt from Joshua on a unanimous point decision at London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in September. That's all we have for you in the exciting world of sport. My name is Isaiah Akinremi.
Thank you, Isaiah. Over now to Oluwapo Omoride for stories from the foreign zone.
Lala Lux Dlamini, leader of South African anti-migrant vigilante group Operation Dudula, has been released on bail after his arrest on March 24 on charges of housebreaking, theft and malicious damage to property. Kenny Kunene, a South African politician, described his arrest as politically motivated move.
We maintain that there is no case here because you cannot do housebreaking and damage the property when you are in the company of the police. This is a politically motivated arrest and incarceration.
We cannot have illegality running rampant in our society. It's got nothing to do with xenophobia. We have a system, right, inherited from the previous system, don't worry, from the previous apartheid regime, where illegality, as long as it is condoned by politicians, is fine.
All roads leading to the court were barricaded with steel mesh fencing, and the court premises was surrounded by a large police presence as it anticipated possible clashes with political opponents. Dlamini's arrest drew criticism from members of his movement who used social networks and social media to threaten to intensify their activities.
We are going to come out and emerge victorious. We are already victorious, but we're going to make sure that we hold each other's hands. This is the time. There's no other time.
Elsewhere, Ghana has eased its COVID-19 rules. The West African state is the latest African country to ease its own rule on coronavirus. In his 28th COVID-19 address, President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana announced an update on the measures taken to limit the spread of the virus. 2 years after the president closed all borders, he announced the opening of the sea and land borders, vowing that the economy will soon rebound. All in-person activities such as those taking place in private parties, churches, mosques, cinemas have to resume at full capacity as long as the audience are fully vaccinated. The reopening of the border was expected by many Ghanaians who depend on cross-border trade with countries like Togo, Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso. And lastly, in Europe, Russia is seeking new market for its oil export as Western sanctions heighten, and India has been taking advantage of discounted prices to ramp up imports from the country. The United States has said that although these oil imports do not violate sanctions, but that support for Russia is a support for an invasion that obviously is having a devastating impact. After the United States and China, India is the world's third largest consumer of oil, with over 80% being imported. In 2021, India bought about 12 million barrels of oil from Russia, and this amounts to 2% of its total imports. Oluwapo Omoride, Impact Business Radio News.
Thank you, Oluwapo. To end the news, another look at the major items. Buhari calls for efficient tax administration, promises to improve Nigeria's tax revenue. We also told you that Senate asked Nigerian Army and Navy to go after terrorists to restore peace and stability in the country. And the Federal Consumer Protection Commission freezes over 30 bank accounts operated by illegal loan organizations. Also, Federal Character Commission calls for even distribution of social amenities across the country to promote national unity. For comments, breaking news, happenings around your area, and suggestions, send your report to newsroom at Ibr92.5FM.com. The news was produced and edited by Mary Uju. I am Anu Akomalafe. Good evening and thanks for joining us.
It's our
all about business, entertainment, inspiration, qualitative and informative news, educative program on the go. It's Nigeria's first business radio, Ibr. Impact Business Radio, 92.5 FM. We mean business. For the very best in qualitative and informative news with educative program on the go, tune in to Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. Impact Business Radio. We mean business.
Amutajero London, Amutajero Lengbo.
Impact House Lawa, Ipa Rere Lanko. Olapasola Estate, the General Gas.
Awani Ibr.
Yeah. Eba wa do po kajo reta je se.
Ìbàdàn láti Amutajero. Ìbàdàn láti Amutajero. 92.